If you are here to ensure your success when learning to become a programmer, you, my friend, are in the right place. Because in this video, we're still going strong with things that I see people really struggle with when they're becoming programmers. And also, what are the reasons that are pushing over 90% of people to quit on the journey to becoming a programmer. I don't want you to end up like that. So please, if you did not see the previous video, here is the link to it, enjoy it, and then come back to this one because here we will be covering additional points. Greetings, dear friends, fellow programmers, and those aspiring to be. Welcome back to Marko Code Academy. In this video, as you already know, we will continue talking about the reasons why people fail to become programmers. So sit back and enjoy the video. Point number 5 is going to be burnout. This is a big one. It is a silent killer of so many programmer dreams that I cannot even begin to describe how important it is. It is so easy to get caught up in the grind mentality when you are really fired up about the project you are working on that you can end up in a burnout zone. And once you are burned out, trust me, it is very difficult to get out of it and reignite your fire, which is why I dedicated this point to trying to share my experience in this area, which, trust me, I have a lot of. You're about to hear just a minor part of it, and try to help you out not make the same mistakes that I did. As you maybe already know, I already shared this information in previous videos, but for years I was working at least 2 full-time jobs at the same time while I was building my personal projects. And there were times when I was working on 3 full-time jobs at the same time and also building my personal projects. Luckily, that was just for a few months at a time, but I was working multiple jobs for years. Now, what that meant was the fact that for those years of dedicated, extremely hard work, I had little to no additional time to spend doing what I like or enjoy or relax myself. Which meant that out of those years, I've spent maybe 6 months working without any issues and being happy about it because I was learning and growing so much. But for the most of it, I was miserable. But I still kept going because I really had a passion and strong desire to make my personal projects work and save money to invest in them, and also to save up some money so I do not be homeless or without the food. And do not get me wrong, it is really good to challenge yourself, to push the tempo, to do really hard work. But this time, it's not a marathon. It must be a sprint. You can do it for 1, 2, 3, 6 months, but after that, you must take a break. You must lower the tempo and work at the pace that you can take for years without any issues, so that you feel comfortable, that you do not feel overly exhausted every day you wake up, which is really not going to bring you anything good. Because after a few months of me working at that tempo, I started noticing that my attention span was going down, that my memory was going down. I couldn't remember my brother's birthday, that's how serious things were. Also, my output was dropping, even though the number of hours was getting up, and I still couldn't follow my own proficiency and my own outputs from previous days and months, which is why I kept increasing the dosages of caffeine, and then reached the point where drinking coffee in the morning would do absolutely nothing for me. I would drink double ristretto in the morning and I would feel nothing out of it. And the only thing that would work for me was taking a caffeine pill. It would give me a few hours of productive work with high efficiency, but then the drop was insanely strong. I would fall asleep on my chair. It is that difficult to stay awake after the initial boost of energy expires. So it was really not a very nice way to treat your body and health. So after a while, I saw that it was no time and place to keep going with this tempo, so I decided to work just a single full-time job and also try to reduce the tempo of working on my personal projects. That way the amount of effort would be reduced, and also I included a few additional things to improve the quality of life, which are something like I had to go at least 1 week a month with my fiance to do something nice during weekend. We also had to spend quality time with our friends and go spend some time in the nature. And also I had to spend at least 3 days, 20 minutes working out during the week. Of course, it would be better to do it more than 3 times, but 3 was the minimum. And over some time, let's say a month or 2, I started noticing that my brain was again feeling better and awesome. So that definitely made significant impact for me. But the most comforting fact here is that there is a solution for this problem. You can work actively and proactively to fix not ever feeling burnt out. Because trust me, it's not a very nice feeling. And I feel like now that I'm filming this lesson, that this topic requires its own video. So if you would like me to make a video dedicated just to burnout and my in-depth experiences with it, please do let me know in the comment section of this video and I'll gladly film it. Now, if you were to take just a single thing out of this point, that would be balance is the key. Take regular breaks, spend quality time, and do what makes you happy, because that is the only way for you to get up every morning feeling energized and ready to take on any challenge out there that is in store for you that day. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Unless, of course, we're talking about high tempo, when it is a sprint, not a marathon. Your brain needs as much rest as it needs to be challenged. Never forget that. Please don't. Chapter number 6. Expecting instant results. Here is a tough pill to swallow. There are no shortcuts in programming. We all want to make our own successful big apps that will make us billionaires. And we all want to land our dream jobs and want to live nice lives, being confident and being covered financially. I know we all want to have that at our disposal, but the truth is, mastering programming takes time. Expecting instant results in the world of programming is like planting a seed in the ground and expecting that tomorrow, when you get to that point, you will see a huge tree that has grown out of it. In this regard, one of the most significant and impactful sentences that I've heard is that nothing in life that is worth something in our lives is easily achievable. When you think about it, finding a perfect partner or a soulmate for yourself requires a lot of effort. You need to meet people, work on yourself to be charming enough to get them to like you, and then also when you do make them to like you and fall in love with you, it's still a lot of work to keep the relationship going and be strong as it can. Then you have health. If you want to be healthy, you need to work very hard on your exercising routines, on your healthy, balanced foods, and also doing your best to be able to live a healthy life in this fast world of stress and fast food and everything that is not very good for us. Also, when you think about children, which are basically our main goal of existence on this planet, it also requires a lot of effort to bring up a child, even more difficult if you want to bring up a lot of children, because you need to be able to provide for them, to be able to share experiences, to teach them, to make them great people. And it takes a lot of time and energy as well. Well, it is the same thing with your profession. You have to invest a lot of time and effort to become a great professional and somebody really respectful and successful in life. It is basically impossible for you to become a senior developer within a few months. No matter how smart you are, you just cannot do it. It requires years. Of course, if you are hardworking or if you are really smart, you will make it happen in 2 years instead of 5, but still, you cannot do it in 2 months. There is no way. Basically, patience is the key. Celebrate those small victories when you're starting to code. Your first functioning method, or your first object, or your first app, your first website, or your first client. Always celebrate those wins and never let it be something huge that you want to achieve and then not look at all of those smaller things because you still didn't manage to achieve your main goal take 5 or 10 years to achieve. So please pay attention to the small victories that you achieve every day. They will help you pull through the struggles and pain of becoming a great developer. And also, programming is great that way. It is a profession that is really great for you because you get constant spikes of dopamine when you manage to figure out how to build a feature or when you run a code and it works as expected. But also there is the other side of the coin, which states that you will feel down when you get a problem or an exception or an issue that you do not understand, and you will be very frustrated when trying to figure out what is the problem and you cannot do it and it seems impossible, but you always keep going and the solution will appear at some point. And the final point is going to be point number 7, which is unrealistic job expectations. A lot of people think, hey, I learned to code, where is my 6-figure salary? But there is a reality check. It is very tough to find that first job of yours, and you will probably not be paid nearly as 6 figures, at least in most countries. But you might want to start with something small and not perfect by your standards, but just use it to grow, gain experience, and basically over time get better and better jobs, grow as a professional, and then at some point you will make it to that point that you were looking forward to, but it will take a while. Basically, every experience, every interview, every feature, every rejection you go through is going to put you one step closer to your end goal. Oh my gosh, if I got a penny every time I was rejected when I was looking for my first job, I would have quite a bit of money. At that period of time, I was applying left, right, and center. I was applying for basically every job opportunity and job opening in my country that was remotely connected to technologies that I was learning about. And I would apply even if I knew 1 or 2 things out of 10 that were listed, I would still apply. But basically, every time the result was the same. In 90% of applications, I would even not get a response. I would get nothing, no feedback whatsoever. And in 50% of those 10% left, I would just get an email saying that the company is not interested in hiring me because I lack experience. And in under 50% out of those 10%, I would be interviewed or go through some stages of interviewing and then end up declined in some of the stages of interview process. But over the months I was doing this full-time, applying all over the place, I was finally able to land the job. But what was the actual secret to making it happen was really simple. First of all, I tried really hard. I improved my chances by applying to so many jobs. Then also, while applying, I was building my portfolio. I was not just sitting on my ass doing nothing. I was building games, building apps, working on acquiring as much knowledge as possible, and every interview I was feeling more comfortable, more confident, and I realistically collected more experience. And basically the chances of me landing the job were greater. So basically it was just a matter of time when I would land my first job. But I must say that I'm really glad that I managed to have the dedication to pull through the hundreds of applications that I sent, to go through the dozens of interviews that I went through, and to stick around through all of those rejections. Because if I was not so dedicated and sure that I want to become a programmer, I would probably quit after 10 rejections, or maybe 20, I don't know, maybe even 5. But I was so sure that I wanted to pull through and make it, that I was just going through the motion of being rejected over and over again. So please invest some time into thinking about, do you actually see yourself becoming a programmer? Is it something you want to do for next 10 or 20 years? Do you enjoy doing stuff like that? And if you decide that you do want to do that, in that case, stick with that decision and never doubt yourself. Just keep going, never ever let yourself feel down because some recruiter or some interviewer told you that you suck at programming. Do not let it go, do not let yourself down. Just use it as a lesson and take it that you need still to work on your skills and experience in order to be good enough. That is all that you need to take out of it. It is not because of you being stupid or not able to be a programmer. It's just the fact that you need to invest more time and effort. Be persistent, be hardworking, and over time, the right opportunity will certainly come your way. Trust me, I can guarantee it will happen for you. Remember, every single programmer became a programmer and a senior programmer by starting as a beginner and as somebody who has no idea what they're doing. You have to take your time, allow yourself to gain experience, to grow, to keep learning, to keep building awesome stuff, and over time, the right opportunity will show itself to you. And also, one more thing that I did not mention is that you should always look for help if you need it. You can go to websites that are dedicated for creating communities. You can use my videos in the comment section. I'm the first person who will do my best to reply to your questions or concerns, and basically find people you can use as coaches and people who will motivate you to pull through and go through all the pains and struggles of becoming a programmer. To wrap things up, in this video, we discussed what are the main and common pitfalls that people stumble upon and basically make them quit on their journey to becoming a programmer. And I hope that I managed to help you in this video and the previous one, how to evade these common pitfalls and not be in the 90% of people who fail, but be in the 10% of people who are awesome and are living their lives to their fullest and doing what they love. Now, and finally, I want to hear from you, your personal experiences and struggles in the comment section of this video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to subscribe, turn on the notifications, because that way you will never miss an upload. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the upcoming videos, because I have great ones in store for you. Until the next video, thank you for watching, have an amazing day, happy coding!